This morning, a story that might just tug at your heartstrings. It's a story of hope, perseverance, and love, and a dog that brought complete strangers together. Portia looks pretty content, all curled up on the sofa in John Lewis's living room. Her journey to get here can only be described as miraculous. It began last 4th of July weekend.
What happened was the fireworks went off, and when I heard them go off, I ran, because I was inside for a few minutes. I ran downstairs, and Sadie was there, and Portia was gone.
With the help of Lara Shaw from Angels Among Us Rescue, a frantic Lewis started putting up signs all over his East Cobb neighborhood.
There would be sightings here and there, weren't really sure.
Most of the calls came from around busy Roswell Road. There's a nearby park. Those turned out to be false alarms. Then one day,
we got a call from Steve and Celeste saying, "We think your dog is living in the woods behind our house."
I'd seen her a couple times. In the middle of the night, we could hear her tags and the dogs would be barking, and I'd go outside and I'd see her. And I'm like, wait, that's got to be that dog. It's a big dog.
Celeste and Steve King live about 3 miles from the Lewis home, in a cul-de-sac with a creek in the back.
I don't know where she'd be today if she didn't have this creek system. There's a lot of, for her to have water every single day, so that really helped her survive.
They first spotted Portia in July right after she disappeared, but couldn't get close enough to catch her.
She'd run when we called to her. She'd just look at us and take off running.
The days turned into weeks, the weeks into months. Celeste and Steve didn't see Portia again until October. John and Laura rigged up night vision cameras and set up a trap with food, hoping to catch more than just critters.
It goes off motion, and there she was. So she wouldn't go in the trap, but she was eating the food that we had put outside the trap, but she would not go in the trap. That's the igloo that failed.
By now, the nights were getting colder, but Portia only barked at the doghouse put up to provide shelter.
And we were getting worried, and we never knew where she was sleeping because she would come at night to eat, but then she would disappear.
John put a tarp on it.
Portia finally did get into a makeshift hut John built to keep her safe.
She's just so skittish, she would never come to anybody.
John, Laura, Steve, and Celeste didn't give up. By now, 6 months had passed since fireworks scared Portia away from home. It was New Year's Eve. The fireworks were going off again. And down the road from John's home, Joanne Lingle was up late waiting for her daughter to come home.
I walked into the living room and just stood there for a moment looking out the back window, and there under the spotlight right by my car was this dog curled up, just leaning against the tire.
Apparently so exhausted, Portia allowed Lingle and her husband to pick her up and bring her inside.
You're a sweet pig, yeah.
Lingle had seen the lost dog signs over the past 6 months and suspected the worn-out dog might just be Portia. She picked up the phone and made the call.
And they came in, and it was pretty emotional. I mean, everybody just burst into tears, you know. But she was a little New Year's miracle.
A miracle that through a series of twists and turns brought neighbors together and a dog back home where she belonged.
There are bigger angels up there that handled this whole thing, for sure.
Now, those involved in Portia's homecoming say they hope her story will inspire others whose pets might be missing to never give up hope. And they also want to remind dog owners to put their pets inside when there are fireworks or storms because so many dogs are frightened by the noise. The time now is 8:28.